All right. Okay, so big picture here. Big picture here. Yesterday, we just dealt with one of these inequalities. And we came up with solutions that would satisfy that. And we've graphed it so that we can see all the potential solutions. Now we're dealing with a system, meaning we're dealing with more than one. Owl, yes. You're in the video. Thank you. This is me telling you to stop fooling around. Now we are bringing in another inequality, meaning we have a system. And thinking back to systems of equations that we did at the end of last semester and a little bit this semester, is we were looking for an x comma y, one solution that satisfies both of those equations. Now we're looking for solutions that satisfy both of these inequalities. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to graph it and we're going to see all of the potential solutions for this system of inequality. So what we're going to do, we do what we did yesterday. We're just going to graph them separately, and we're going to see the shading. Yeah, that's it. That's right. So let's graph these separately. So let's make a coordinate plane.
Let's fight. Let's fight, but okay, Palmer.
Guys, he's filming.
You're on. So we're going to graph these one at a time. And we're going to do it the same way we did yesterday, but now we're just going to end up with two. Our first one is already in y equals mx plus b form. So all I need to do is identify the slope and identify the y-intercept and make my line from there. What's my slope of this first one?
2.
2 over 1. Thank you. And my y-intercept
is -3.
-3. Amazing. Let's graph that. -3, 1, 2, 3. And I have a positive slope of 2 over 1. I'm just going to leave them as dots for now. We're going to talk about if it's going to be dotted or solid line. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Okay, this ruler doesn't work. 1, 2 over 1.
Hi. This could have just been 2.
Is this going to be a dotted line or a solid line?
Dotted.
It's going to be dotted. Excellent. So I'll get my ruler, line up my points, and I'm going to make a dotted line.
Teachers dot lines so well.
Oh, that one's kind of off. That wasn't my best work.
It's better than mine is.
Okay. So we're still just on this first inequality. And I can't remember. Oh, I know Tyler went over it again and again, and he made this awesome video with these notes. But I can't remember if I'm supposed to shade above or below. So what I'm going to do is find a really easy point, like 0, 0. I'm going to plug that in to this equation, and I'm going to see if I get a true or an untrue statement. If I get a true statement, that means I'm going to shade above. If I get an untrue statement, that means I'm going to shade below because it kind of excludes that point from the shade. Yes? Let's do it.
It's like this. It's like,
There's that piece. Whoa, that's not legal. I found it. This is the
22 to 18 million, 0.3.
That is correct, I think, right?
This one would shade.
Wait.
This is hard. So after I plugged in 0, 0, I ended up with 0 is less than -3. Is the alligator eating the bigger number? No, it is not. So this is an untrue statement.
So we should down.
So that tells me that 0, 0 is not a solution. So I'm not going to shade above. I'm going to shade below. Now, hold on. Before you do shading, here's another pro tip. I'm going to just do those arrows to show myself, hey, it's below the line. Because I'm going to do another line that's going to overlap with that somehow, and I'm going to end up with way more gray shading than I need. So I would suggest just do arrows at the beginning, and then we'll see how this plays out at the end, okay? So this shows me that I'm going below the line. Good with that. That's basically what we were doing last night for homework and what we started with today. We're going to do the same thing for this one, but this is a little more complicated. The second one's a little more complicated. And the reason it's more complicated is because it's not in y equals mx plus b form. So that's what I need to do first.
So it's just
To get it into y equals mx plus b form, I just need to get that y by itself.
My eraser. So what you have
How am I going to get the y by itself?
subtract the 2x and
Sub-
put it on the other side as negative 2x.
Thank you, Austin. Minus 2x minus 2x. I'm going to end up with y is greater than, I'm going to put the negative 2x first because I know that's in y equals mx plus b, plus 2. My signs lined up. My x value was negative, so it's negative down here. My 2, the constant, was positive, so it just ends up as a plus 2. Everyone go with that? Okay, let's graph it. What's my slope? What's my y-intercept?
your y-intercept is 2 and your slope is negative 2 over 1.
Beautiful. Let's go back to our graph.
Wait, what's a b?
B is positive 2.
There.
Maybe just like another color or something.
You could do it in another color.
Intersect. Yeah.
They're not going to intersect perfectly, no.
Mine's like her.
Dotted line or solid line?
Dotted again.
Dotted again.
And then we do the thing again. To make
Wow.
them 0, 0.
We're going to do the thing again. Yep.
Oh.
I know where
It's
dotted or
It's dotted. Now I'm trying to decide. I'll let everybody catch up. Let me know when you've got that line made.
Cool.
Okay, again, now I need to figure out, shoot, am I going to shade above or below this line? I can't remember the rule. So I'm going to use a really simple point, 0, 0, and I'm going to see if I get a solution that's true or untrue. Okay, so I'm using y.
Is anything times 0, 0?
Yes.
I struggle with my zeros. My zeros
How?
how? I forget the rule.
0 times anything is 0.
That's like all you need to
It's
That's
okay.
0 is like strange math.
Okay. I also struggle with my 16th house. That is really peculiar. What?
Your 16th house.
Right here,
I don't
guys.
understand that.
Okay, so my 0 dropped out that negative 2, and I ended up with 0 is greater than 2. Is that a true statement?
No.
Is the alligator eating the bigger number?
No.
No. So no solution.
Not true.
Not true. So going back to my graph, if I were to shade below the line, it would cover up that 0, 0. But we just established that that's not a solution. So I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to shade above the line. Now watch how I'm going to do this. I'm going to use my arrows again. to show that it's shading above the line. Does everybody see that?
Yeah.
Louis, yay?
The shading above the line?
No, like the arrows, like you're putting everywhere.
Yeah. So just be patient and let me get there, okay? So I'm shading above the line on this one, but I'm below the line here. What I'm looking for, and this is the key to systems of inequality, so I hope you guys are paying attention, is we're looking for the overlapping shading. Where do those two lines overlap with their shading? This line, it overlaps here, but not so much with this line. This line overlaps with over here, but not so much with this line. The true overlapping is going to happen in this region right here, because it overlaps this line and that line, and it overlaps this line and that line.
Can we shade to find out?
So my solutions are that overlapping right here.
I don't get why.
Look at that.
Because you're trying to find a solution that satisfies both equations, and that's the only spot that will answer both correctly.
How did that happen?
Oh, because the arrows. So if it was like that arrow on the right, on the bottom right, which is pointing down, it would be that little thing.
Homework.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean, but I'm not totally sure.
Like if the
So I'm gonna wrap this up because I've been talking a lot, but all of these solutions here will work. For example, let's pick this one out right there. What point is that? That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, comma 0.
Wait, what?
This point right here is 5, comma 0, and that is a solution that will work for both of these inequalities. And that's what we were looking for, as Austin said. Thank you, Austin. Thank you for not interrupting me. The solution here needs to work for both of them, and that's what we were looking for. Any questions out there?
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
What? How do you know exactly? Because like, oh wait, no, yeah. How do you know exactly which point it is? Because there's also other points that are being.
I just randomly picked that point.
Oh,
we're not.
I could pick this point. I could pick that point, that one, that one, that one.
Anything within the shape.
Anything within the overlapping shading. Thank you. See, we got there together. You guys asked great questions.
Equations, we had multiple solutions.
You could.
What's
You
that
could
Okay, bye, Jack.
solutions?